Hey everyone, welcome to another Conversation Over Drinks. I'm Coach Wolverine.
Coach Kelowna.
And today we want to talk to you about how to win at life. And I think it's very open because winning is very subjective. What do you consider winning? What is winning at life for you?
Now or
Do both.
before the whole?
Let's say now and where you once at. Or no, let's say where you once at and where you are now. Let's lead people into it.
Okay, so kind of, I guess the stereotypical like TV lifestyle, right? As far as what you're looking at, you want to have X amount of dollars and own X amount of things and be with X amount of friends and whatever. That's basically it. That's what you look at and you're like, that's the template in the direction you want to go. And that's ultimately why I made a lot of choices and went to school for what I went to school for, all these things. Get into that and you find out pretty quick. And now I would definitely look at like winning, success as simply as progress. Like if I'm consistently getting better with effort in a direction, with a purpose, with a goal, to me that's winning.
Yep.
And I know that's changed how I approach everything, how I approach conversations, how I approach conversations with people that I would have and a lot of the time still deem like way ahead or more successful or winners, but I can have a conversation that in my mind I'm not as far behind as I used to think I was.
I like to frame it as like, what if nobody is behind?
Everyone's on their own.
Yeah, because like I know like just on that comment. Okay, so before I get into that, actually, so I was the same way. I used to believe that a win was having the fat bank account, having the nice ride, having the big house, whatever type of materialistic flex you really wanted to do. But for now, like my definition of winning is very similar to yours, except for also peace. Peace within myself, knowing that I am okay with how things are moving, that I am still progressing and moving forward, but not that I need to put so much pressure onto myself that I take the fun out of everything anymore. Like if my business is no longer fun, I don't want to do it anymore. If coaching becomes no longer fun, if working with people with their inner child work or any of the other stuff that I do, if that's no longer fun anymore, even if I'm progressing as a business stance and I'm making, say, good income with that, but if I don't feel at peace with it, I'm no longer winning.
Yes. I don't know. I would push back on the term fun.
Well, fun is also up for debate because fun is different for different people,
Totally.
right?
I just like the sense of fun. If we're moving in the direction of success and we know that everything worth anything takes time and is not always going to be enjoyable, that's where I would push back on the fun part.
I enjoy solving problems though.
Totally, and I do too. So like if you can frame the lens, which is where we would tweak it to
so
make
when
sure.
I say fun, I don't mean bouncy castles and circuses. I mean I find fun in solving problems. I find fun in, I guess at its foundation would be solving problems. Yeah. But like doing the graphic design stuff for my business or trying to figure out how, this software will mesh with this software. In that moment, oh my goodness, it's frustrating that I could put my fist through my computer sometimes. But as soon as I hit that aha, I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. And then the next few steps are fun. But it's that one step back there. That's a little bit frustrating.
As long as we're not talking about always having fun.
No, it's definitely not always fun, but like it's got to be, it's fulfilling. Like that give and take, fulfilling. Like if I'm going on like weeks or months on end where I'm going to the computer and I'm doing all of this stuff, I'm making the programs, the courses, whatever, and I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, oh, again, like, oh, I guess I have to do this, or oh, I guess I should do that. And it's been a certain amount of time where that fun factor hasn't re-injected itself into it, then I'm not winning anymore. Even if my bank account is growing, even if my client list is growing, even if I'm helping people change their lives, if I'm not feeling the fulfillment in it over an extended amount of time, then I would say that I am now not winning. And then I would have to do some self-introspection and be like, okay, what do I have to change or what do I have to address? Do I have to add something or do I have to take something away? And then I kind of get myself back onto track. But I think at its definition, then it's still always a matter of progress, because progress isn't necessarily linear. right?
Okay.
Sometimes progress is like you build half of your skyscraper and you're just like, oh, wait a minute, this floor was supposed to, or 2 or 3 floors down was supposed to have something else in it, so you tear down 3 floors and then rebuild those 3 floors back up.
I think the coolest thing with the way we look at problem solving, the way we look at coaching, the more progress and better we get, the more people we have the ability to provide value to.
Absolutely.
The more experiences we go through, the more stuff we try, the more things that we do, allows us to have conversations with more people, present more solutions to more problems. So that's where I think, because we relate on that, and we always have, on that sense of what led us to coaching, is like I have to go do things and do well at them so that I can then provide more value to more people.
Yep.
And then we know, like from a business model, right, on the backside of that is your business scaling, and how do we do that? So there's only so many people individually that we can help, but there's other coaches that we're going to be able to help, and et cetera, and et cetera. So that's where the solutions and the problems will change, the models will change, and everything will change, but we're still going to have the same purpose, the same direction. And I know that I've had this conversation with you a lot, and it was actually a real estate sales course that I took when I was like 19 or 20. I can't remember why we went. But it was through another group. We were just like, oh, this is here. Like, this course is a quarter of the price. Let's go. So sure. And one of the biggest things that he said, I don't remember a ton of other stuff, but
You remember what was
no,
important?
but yeah, the big one was, it's like money is a byproduct of good service.
Absolutely.
So when we're looking at anything from a lens of financial, to me, it's what does my company need? Like, is there a dollar that the company needs? Is there a dollar that I need to exist? Everything beyond that is based on the quality of service that we provide. So as long as we're providing a service, providing a service or completing a sale is finding a need and providing a solution.
Yep.
So for me, that's how I always kind of stay in that lane, is I need more value to provide more solutions, and more solutions creates more value, and then more value end up like with a better bank account, et cetera, et cetera. And as long as we keep that as a byproduct and not a focal point, we can maintain the integrity and the things that we enjoy about the business.
Yep, I agree. It is a good way to look at it. Yeah, winning at life it's one of those things. Well, it's like, even let's look at like success. What does success mean to you?
Pretty much the same thing, right? If I'm moving forward, I'm going to be successful, and I trust that process.
Right. And so I heard another definition of success is just like experiences, as many fulfilling experiences as possible. So like traveling, doing all of the things, whatever, basically becoming a yes person to gain those experiences. And so I think that a lot of winning is, how do I frame that? It's going to vary very much from person to person. There's no solid like first place ribbon.
No, because the variability happens in where your values are. Things that you value higher, that you're not working on, experiencing, facilitating, doing things with, it's going to leave a larger gap in your feeling of fulfillment, success, winning.
Right.
For me, like traveling, I like traveling, like vacation, but it's never been something where I'm like, I need to. I don't get hankerings to go traveling. I don't get cravings to go traveling. I do get cravings to share experiences with people. I do get cravings to try new things. I don't necessarily have to be on another side of the world to go try something new. Is that something I need to experience more of? Absolutely. And I do have an intention to do so, but it's not something that's currently stealing from my day-to-day fulfillment, I guess would be how I'd frame that. Whereas other people have to travel. And that's totally okay.
They
right?
have that calling, they have the itch.
The values are different. I know I got to go back to BC and be in the mountains at least 4 times a year, or I go a little nuts. So, right, it's a little bit different. So, or I have to complete 2 courses every year and learn new information, because if I'm not doing that, I feel like I'm not progressing. Even if I'm reading and doing all this other stuff, I have to do these things.
Yep.
So establishing your values and the priority of those values is going to allow you to kind of pick and choose what's going to be more fulfilling at a time. Same thing like hockey for me physically. Like if I'm not playing hockey in the winter, I don't know, like I'll feel pretty lost. I did it once.
Did you?
So since I was 5, I've had 1 winter where I didn't play at all, and sucked.
It didn't feel right.
No, everything felt not okay.
I mean, it's part of it's Well, it's part of your identity.
It is. I can't say it necessarily is anymore. Activity is now kind of where I've moved at. But it's there was a large portion of my life where hockey would have been considered part of my identity for sure.
All right. So for those curious now who want to win, what would be like one solid piece of advice that you can offer for people to start getting onto track, for them to track wins and actually start getting wins in their life?
Pay attention. Pay attention and work on your mindfulness or presence would be probably the first thing. If you are in line at the grocery store and you say hi to the cashier and they smile and that makes you feel good, pay attention to that. If you have a good conversation with a stranger and it makes you feel good, pay attention to that, because these are the things that feel good that require more attention, because obviously those aren't things that a lot of people are doing regularly. But if it makes you feel good and it's positive and it's enlightening, and typically the way I look at it is if it's a win-win, the person that you're interacting with and you, there's a win and value on both ends, it's a good thing to nurture.
I think that's what we should strive for in most of our relationships, or every scenario is a win-win situation. Yeah, that paying attention, that's good. I wasn't expecting that one, but that one's good. That one threw me for a little bit. No, that's a good thing. So one thing that I would say is to, if you don't know, ask for help. Seriously, that was probably my biggest hurdle. Even in times where I've come to you to ask for advice, like we think that we can figure out our own problems by ourselves, but what ends up happening is when we're sitting alone in a room by ourselves, it is our conscience arguing with our subconscious. So basically, it's like our inner parent arguing with our inner child. And being that we don't have an outside perspective or point of view to kind of shed light on a completely different area, we are then trying to argue with ourselves to be right and wrong at the same time.
Dude, I would slap 12-year-old me in a conversation. Like, he was not a smart kid.
No, mine. And I was stubborn.
If that's who I'm arguing with every day, I'm going to be asking for more help.
But yeah, it's quite literally, it doesn't make you less of a person. It does not make you a failure. It does, there's nothing bad. I hate how society has been conditioned to feel that asking for help is a bad thing, or to be found out that we don't know how to do something, or to be found out that we don't have everything figured out. Like, no, seriously, ask for help when it's required. What would you rather do? Would you rather have a problem here, not know it, ask for help, and then have it, say, completed and overcome in a month, or hum and haw over it for a month, then still, contemplate for another 2 months, and then instead of having the thing done by the end of the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you're only just then starting because you didn't just think to ask for help right at first. Right?
I know both of us, right? Like, if I didn't have the mentorship at the beginning with John, I'd be nowhere near where I was right now.
No,
there's no way. Me and you wouldn't have been connected as much as we were.
Nope.
There's so many benefits that come from someone else who's ahead of you in the same world. Yeah. And if you look at, historically, you can look at every civilization ever, there was an apprenticeship program, right? Some of the best things that school still does, without me saying, is the ones that require practicums and apprenticeships and those types of things, because they give you that practical with someone who's done it and is ahead of you.
Yeah.
Not with someone who's just facilitating an exercise, someone who's actually done it.
Yeah. It's not my book tells you to do it this way. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, apply that. How to apply that? And then you have somebody there to actually ask that question to do it. So
I know the best instructors I had in university were all currently still in business or accounting, or they did all these things, and then they were also instructing.
Right.
It wasn't the otherwise, right? I'm certified to do so. I'm here. I'm going to teach you what I learned, and it's up to you to go apply it. Well, if you don't know how to apply it, then how do I? Yeah. So that's that's ultimately the idea, right? So having that in any facet, I implore anyone who hasn't, the person that you see who is the most successful, go ask them if they know what they're doing every single day. They don't know exactly what they're doing. They have an idea.
The most successful people that I've met have people that know how to do the things they don't know how to do.
Exactly.
Every successful entrepreneur has people that they have hired that are better at something than they are, which is exactly why they hired them.
Which is EQ.
Oh, yes, EQ, right. Sorry, previous conversation.
Oh, good. So it's just me tying chats together, but we've had we've touched on it, I know, in previous videos, that our emotional understanding doesn't always have to equal our intelligent understanding, but someone else's intelligent understanding can help. It's up to us to recognize that. And being able to sit back and recognize, like, hey, this person's actually got a handle on this. Let's run with that and let them go, because they're actually better at it than I am, is super important.
Yep.
And not only that, it's going to give them a better, what's a win-win? It's going to give them a better fulfillment in what they're doing. They're going to feel more appreciated. They're going to feel all these things positively. It directly reflects on you as a leader or someone in that direction. And everyone in their own life is a leader in some role. So once you start looking at it as if you're leading a team, which is like, who's on your team, right? And if some of us, honestly, don't have a team, that's okay. Start acting like a leader. You'll build a team by doing the right things.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
your teammates will change as you grow. And I know me and you have had
Yep.
pretty extensive changes socially.
We've definitely had those conversations too, with the changing of people who are in our immediate lives and whatnot. But yeah, so basically in conclusion, summary, pay attention, right? What feels good, do more of, and to ask for help when it's necessary. And then I guess to plug a previous video, emotional intelligence. Those 3 things will lead you to a win, guys. Anything else you got to add to that?
No, that's it. That's it. I've got a podcast in my head with a quote, and I can't word it, so we're gonna figure it out later.
All right, next episode. So that's it for today, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe on whatever platform you're consuming this content on. Until next time, cheers.